talk about what happened last week because I feel like I'm not really over it. We had a TPK, my first TPK. It feels like, I mean, as I started this season, I was talking about the first time you lose your virginity, right? This was my first time I had a TPK.
Well, it feel like it came out of nowhere. Like, it was expected. I think anybody listening was like, they are not doing a good job of investigating, which I think we knew that as well. We were like, we are not doing a good job, but I didn't think we were both gonna die.
Yeah, honestly, I was like, oh, that didn't go the way that we're fucked. Like, immediately, within a turn, I was like, oh, this could be, it's fine. Well, no, actually, it's very much not. And I feel
it's quite bad.
Ungood.
It's quite bad.
It's quite out of line.
Quite out of line. And the thing is, I didn't really expect it either because I was like, oh shit, poison, yeah, that's gonna be tricky, but it'll probably be fine. And then like, oh fuck, you're gonna die in the next round unless Anne's character can do something.
Unless like a miracle happens.
And I wasn't, but then after a while I'm like, I don't want to be the miracle this time. I want to see how they get out of this mess. And as level 1 characters, of course you couldn't get out of that mess. So,
well, I think I feel like it's important. I think that oftentimes it falls to a dungeon master to like kind of serve the situation. And the truth is that I don't think you really know how to like really take ownership of the direction of the game and of making choices to change things along the way, or affect a really intense battle scenario like that super on the fly until you've had a chance to press the system to breaking point, and it takes playing with people that you trust and that trust you back to get through that. And so I think it was cool for us to get to experience that as a group who played, a pretty classic, like who played the best game of all time last season. But like we played such a cool game where we really got to see characters grow and build. And so it was important to remember what starting characters feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also like how it's kind of easy to die in Vaesen. Yeah. Like we were joking that it's like last season, we're like, it's impossible to die in Vaesen. You can do this and you can do that. But if you really don't prepare well, your characters are just humans. Like we have skills and we have special, we have the sight and we have these things, but it's like, if there's like a big demon lady and she cuts your throat, you're dead.
Yeah.
So,
and also the thing is with Vaesen, it's not about combat. Mm-hmm. Like they say that all the time. Like it's about rituals and figuring out how to. Like it's more like a mystery, figuring out the detective work, and then they have combat rules. However, the combat rules are very, succeed or don't.
Well, I've gone back over. Not that I think about this every night as I lie in bed and was like, how could we have solved this? But I do go back over it. I have a little bit this week gone back over it. And I think the only thing we could have done is to say, hey, listen, we know something is up here. Why don't you tell us what you need so that we could help you and get this town out of your hair and help you get what you want while finding our friend, or at least finding out what happened to him, and we'll just go away. Like, we'll just become the knight. There are other options that we had aside from like solving the mystery and pinning a crime on a Vaesen, and we didn't really respect the idea of negotiating with the monster if at all possible.
Well, I think also we ruined that opportunity regardless because we pushed her way too far. Like maybe if we walked away and came back, things would have been different. If we didn't, Ellie said from the start we should have snuck into the house. And I'm like, well, all right, good point. Like we didn't do that at all. So
yeah. And we did not really make particularly good social characters. At least I definitely didn't. I don't know what you... Yeah. So we were like, let's go into a social situation with this Vaesen.
Honestly, like, I feel bad though, because it's like there's obviously not one way of doing it. So when I'm like, you should have done this, otherwise I'll kill you, it's also shitty GM behavior. But and this is also something in the future game I will give you guys more opportunities to not fail, instead of just being like, okay, you didn't bring your third NPC, like you didn't bring someone who could potentially help you, because that's also the thing. You can bring NPCs with you to help you.
Didn't know that was an option. Even though
we also didn't fare too well with any of the townsfolk. We fucked it up with the townsfolk too. They hated us.
Yeah.
So
I think it also really goes to show you that having characters with different skill sets is super important, especially when you only have 2 PCs.
We're a little understaffed. Not
at the Rose house. Not a lot of people work there.
That's the big mystery. It's finding where all the people are. I think it's very hard to know how to balance it out, because I think this was a little bit unbalanced on my part as well. Like I could have steered you guys a lot. Like I could have helped a little bit more.
I mean, we all could have done different things, but the fact is that's the story we told, and I am happy that we're in a group where like we can do that, and it doesn't. I mean, there are people who have TPKs and then they're like, wow, maybe we should never play together ever again. And here we are a week later, like, let's do it again.
Yeah, but also, Ellie, like, the training wheels come off. Season 2, baby.
No
more training wheels. At some point. Be nice to us.
Yeah, maybe like one training wheel.
One
just attached to the back chassis of the party.
I just have a sense, even though this is not, this is going to be released, this episode right now is going to be released in a couple of months probably, I can feel the future comments in our comment section that I don't know where it is yet is going to be furious.
Well, I think that's great for us. Like, if we never know where the comments are, like, that's probably better for us.
We never have to read them.
Oh, yeah. That's great. Dude, that's
Love
the
you,
best.
Internet.
I downloaded a app that blocked certain websites, and then I somehow accidentally uninstalled that app, but it's still intact.
Did it block Reddit?
It was I blocked Reddit. That was before Christmas. But and it's been the best decision of my life. Like I can feel that there's a disturbance in the force. Like I know someone is probably mad at me for something I've done, but it feels great to not know exactly what it is.
Ellie, I love that for you, but also I think that's called paranoia, where you wake up and you think, is anybody mad at me? Is anybody mad at me today?
You just drink coffee sitting on your back porch, as we so often had, and you're like, someone wants to fuck with me.
Yeah, and not in a good way.
No.
Guys, are you though? Okay, here's the new thing though. Here's a new adventure, a new episode, a new chance for you guys to prove yourselves that you're not...
fuck it up.
Or fuck it up. We'll see about that.
Won't they?
Will they, won't they? Will they die? Or will they become Ross and Rachel? That's a Friends analog. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So this new episode is actually based on a Delta Green scenario, a Delta Green one-shot. For those of you who are not familiar with Delta Green, it's a deadly fucked up game. Has actually become one of my favorite games because I played it privately for a couple of times. You make it sound so dirty. I played Delta Green by myself in the dark. Yeah, that's the thing. What do you call a home game? Yeah, like a home game, because
just a home brew.
But like a home brew is a game you've made yourself, right? But a home game when you're, because
homebrew can be like when you take a Delta Green game and turn it into another game. I think that's considered homebrewing because you're changing
I meant more like a non-performance game.
I just call that
a normal game. A normal game.
That's called playing a tabletop role-playing game. You can tell we're the weird ones.
We don't have time to do this for fun, guys. We're like, what do you call it when you do it and you're not doing it for other people? Oh, a hobby?
Exactly.
Oh, fun?
Yeah, fun. What? How do you spell that again? F-U-C-K.
F-U-C-K, we. I don't know. That's not a good Mickey Mouse reference.
The thing is, I had an idea for this Delta Green Vaesen mix-up before you guys TPK'd, so now I'm like, oh no. So I will see how this plays out. I haven't written the ending yet. So depending on how, this episode goes, I'll be like, will I go, crazy, hard Ellie, or will I just tone it down a bit and get on the social intrigue instead? But I want to give some shout-outs first before we start. Matt Jones, my friend, ran me through this in Delta Green. He's great. He's a great GM and fucking terrifying. He's also the one who has made me not want to ever set anything in England again, because he's one of those English people who will tell me my accent is terrible. Matt's great. And he sent me the adventure, and it's written by Marco Menarini for 2008 Shotgun Scenario Contest for Delta Green. I won't reveal the title because you will find out the title in episode 4 unless I forget. But check if you want to Google him, check him out. Are you guys ready to get started? Are you guys ready to dive into the episode?
I'm so ready.
Yes.
First things first, remember Norway. Oh, I haven't left that baby. We're back in Norway. You've just finished a harrowing report about an incident in London. That, you were reading a book. And it was written by a police officer sometime in the 19th century about a mansion where 2 women went to investigate a house. And some weird occurrences that happened in that house. But then it all burnt down and the mystery was left completely unsolved. The last notes, they say something about incomparable incompetency and complete disregard of basic logic of the 2 women.
That's rough.
Yeah.
But now you're sitting at the kitchen table of this new Norwegian friend, drinking coffee. Amber, the hell was your name again? Amber Heard? No. That's Jane Costner and Amber.
Amber Costner.
Amber Smith.
Oh, Amber Smith.
Amber Smith.
Yeah, Amber picks up the book and she says, gee, I really feel like I thought this was thicker when I picked it up off of that shelf. It seems really light now, this second story. It's more of like a novella, I guess. But hey, good story. Short, sweet.
And Jane cuts her off and she goes, it wasn't a good story, Amber. It was honestly like those characters were dumb.
Rude.
It felt like they almost had it there, but yes, I agree. It was an interesting report. But I've noticed that I'm kind of into it. It's funny how all the books that my forefathers left here are involved, like they have some sort of mystery going on with them, and some are left unsolved and some of them are solved and some of them are just straight up terrifying and creepy.
Why did you leave these 2 there? I mean, do you have more? Like, I love a good mystery.
Well, I'm a bit of a hoarder. So it's hard for me to throw anything away, especially since I don't really know who wrote them and who owned them initially. But yes, of course, I have a bunch of them in the attic. I also have, and she turns around and you can see her own bookcase has a bunch of old books behind her.
Oh. And I think Jane starts like kind of thumbing through, pressing like the spines of all the books. And she's like, what do these say? Can you translate this?
So this one says something that Ellie won't reveal yet because we haven't gotten to that episode.
Oh, it's blurry. I can't even read it. I can't.
Like, exactly. It's like the map on a game.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't quite make out. I guess I can't go there yet.
Yeah.
So okay.
But you do notice that there is like that little, and when you're playing a Disney game, a Disney video game, there's a little sparkling book.
Ooh.
Maybe that's the next quest. I mean, book.
I blow it. I blow the dust up.
And what you see, the title says, in English, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder.
I turn around and I say, Amber, check it out. And I open the book.
And our two faces just descend towards the page.
And
poo. That's what a train goes.
We're on the poo train every time.
There's
on
a train.
The train. Ellie makes up a new noise for what a train sounds like. There's a new train sound.
Unfortunately, this is a boat. That was a boat. I meant.
Oh my God! It was a boat.
Wow, that engine needs someone to look at it.
There's something. The boat is dragging a sea animal behind it, and it's screaming for help. There's a manatee stuck in the propeller.
I felt like it was like one of those steamboats. Okay,
the foghorn. Yeah, like the.
The foghorn, I'm there, but chugga poo is neither a train nor a boat. That's a Noelle special.
Set the scene. The boat is passing under a bridge. There was a train in the background, perhaps in the distance.
In the distance
one of those
this
turn of the century poo trains.
Yes, and it's gone, and we'll never see it again.
It's gone. Yeah, now you're just on the boat, and the boat. Or ship. It's a gigantic boat, but not the Titanic. But
I was worried.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
You're on a steamboat, and it does not sound like a train, but it's on a calm but misty sea. As you're approaching a port. You've been traveling for a while. You left Aberdeen almost a week ago. On your way to the Faroe Islands. Do you guys know anything about the Faroe Islands? It's a very small little island region in the north. Like it's between Iceland and Denmark. It's part of, it's like an independent group of isles, but it's...
Wait, did we go there for our adventure with the Ice Queen?
That was Norway. That was the north of Norway. Faroe Island is between Iceland and Denmark. It's part of Denmark, but it has currently... Right now, its own sovereign, like its own independent. It's independent.
Good for them.
Huh. Yeah. And I would say that they're like a mix between Iceland and Greenland in terms of nature. It's like very green, but still very, very cool, dramatic nature with big waterfalls. I would love to go. But it's still considered part of the north. So they speak Faroese, but that sounds a lot like Icelandic mixed with Danish, I would say. I can sort of understand it, but not like... yeah. And it's chilly around late fall, but because the Atlantic have been calmer than usual, you can spend a lot of time outside on this ship. Quite comfortable, and you have first-class tickets. And calm down. I can hear you. Dum dum.
Oh, sorry. I was typing. Okay, I'll write. I'll use paper. Sorry.
Anne's taking notes, and Ellie's like, "Shut the fuck up!"
Yeah, setting the scene.
I'll write it down in my notebook.
How about you memorize it?
How about I'm trying to remember the nuggets of pure gold you're spitting, and I have my own methods.
I've forgotten all of the stuff. It's good that someone takes notes because I don't. The two of you, your brand new characters, you find yourself in a nice breakfast room in first class of this wonderful ship. A senior society member is sitting behind his desk, and the two of you are facing him. His name is Professor Rutger Willoughby. So the two of you kind of know each other already, and you're part of the society, and you know Professor Rutger Willoughby. So I would like to introduce the two of you because I don't know much except all the backstory you sent me. So how about Sydney? How about you start this time?
Okay. You see a slender, 5'7" average height woman. Can't tell what color hair she has because it's all tucked into a habit. And she is in full nun attire. She looks plain, not ugly, not pretty, but like, no makeup. There's nothing fantastic about her. But she has like a magnetic kind of charm to her. She enters a room, and perhaps because she's in full nun attire at all times, people pay attention to her. But she has very kind eyes. She's 30, and
flirty and thriving.
The opposite, quite pious. But her name is Vanessa Angel, and if you hear her on the ship talking to Professor Rutger Willoughby, she has a thick accent. She is not from Sweden, not from London, maybe not sure where she's from, like a vaguely sort of Eastern European. But she is looking, she's paying attention to the desk, but she was looking out at the vast waterscape and kind of just saying, like, "'Tis so beautiful to be on the open sea."
And next to Sister Vanessa sits who?
A vision in jade silk with a high collar and long sleeves sits a 61-year-old woman. Her at her neck she wears a gold and ruby locket. She has this beautiful graying auburn hair that's done up in this sort of soft Gibson pompadour. And in her lap, her hands are sort of tapping on the brim of a wide black lace brimmed hat. She wears matching gloves. Her face is, she looks pretty good for 61, but she definitely has age lines that are beginning to deepen around her mouth and her eyes, and definitely across her brow. And she has just very striking, narrow green eyes, sharp and arresting, beneath sort of high-set, appraising brows. And she looks between you and the window, and she looks between you and the window, and then back at you again. She says, "Yes, the ocean. How droll. What was it you said you needed from us, sir?"
So the two of you are on a mission to the Faroe Island together with Rutger, because there had been a recently discovered stone circle that some archaeologists had dug up in the Faroes. And Rutger sent his assistant before him, but she's gone missing. And he is now fearing that something might have happened to her, and the society is basically sending agents to investigate. I am the most grateful for you, Sister Vanessa and Mrs.
Mary Smythe. I'm sure you've heard of me.
I am so sorry. It's something with my memory these past few years, actually. You said you were a concubine? No. Oh wait, that's concubine is the other no, yeah. I meant
excuse me, sir. I am a lady.
Prostitute Smythe.
Prostitute Smythe.
Vanessa raises an eyebrow like, constable? What? Concubine?
With age.
And she interrupts and just says, "Comes experience."
I love it. It's perfect. Oh, and also how terrible for me, because I'm gonna get murdered in every role-playing scenario with Anne. Well, like I said, I am very grateful. I haven't been able to sleep these past few days. My assistant Mary, she was very dear to me, and it's very unlike her to be careless and just disappears. So I do believe that something might have happened. And the three of you know that something awful might have happened, because you're all in the society, so you don't have to pretend that you don't have the sight and all that.
What exactly befell dear Mary?
Oh, I don't know. That's what we're going to the Faroe Islands. We don't know yet. All I know is this last letter that she sent, and she mentioned that people had gone missing, and that the town was a lot more paranoid than before. And she sent me these weird drawings on the stone circles that had started to appear, and he takes out her letter, and you can see the drawing, and it's an eye, but instead of the iris, it's a spiral.
What was she going there for originally? For study for you or for her own study?
She's always been quite interested in the various stone circles that we've discovered in recent years. But we wanted to make sure the society saw it prudent that we send someone before the archaeologists might uncover something that shouldn't be left not uncovered. So she was sent there by me because I thought this was going to be an easy, simple mission.
Far be it from me to call attention to your illnesses and all that, but have you always had this issue with your memory?
Well, ever since my wife passed away, I tend to spend a lot of time alone. And yes, I feel like I tend to forget more and more. And he looks sad for a moment. But I don't think I've gone completely mad yet.
So we have that to look forward to. Excellent.
How long was Mary there before she sent the final letter?
Good question. And he looks back, he takes out a little notebook with his agenda, and he starts flipping through, and he's like, so I sent her there on September 21st. Last letter I received on October 15th. And today is November 2nd. So she's roughly 3 weeks that I haven't heard a word.
Do you know where she was stationed out of?
Tórshavn, which you know to be the capital of the Faroe Islands.
Is there any sort of way of following? Do you have a return address on that letter you received there?
Absolutely. She stayed in the town's inn, and you know that Tórshavn is a very small little town of maybe 2,000 people at most. Completely fabricated by me. I don't know if Tórshavn even existed back then, but in this world it does. And it's 2,000 people living there. Maybe there was 1 million. I don't think so. And I will give you also, since we're not in the society, but you left from the society, you would have had some of this information before. So I will give you right now, like, one action you can make in retrospect that you might have done before you entered the ship, if you wanted to do, in order to gain an advantage.
Oh, good idea.
But you can also, if you want to do it later, you can also do it then. But I won't, as we progress after this part of the mission, I won't have you be like, by the way, before I will end London, I actually picked up a gun, when you're facing something terrible.
Damn!
Yeah. So you can either grab the gun now or don't, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
I definitely need, I would like to have packed with me as an on second thought. I better take my cane sword. What do you think of that, Miss Eleanor Di Lorenzo?
Well, your equipment, you probably have your equipment. So I meant more like an advantage if you were like, well,
right.
Before I went to Faroe Islands, I would have gone to the library and checked out, like, what's the deal with the Faroe Islands? Or
I see.
Or
I think Vanessa would have sent a telegram to the local parish of the Faroe Islands and had, like, made herself known, said that she was coming on, like, a faith mission, would like to meet with them, and, like, vaguely mention, like, the superstitions of the townspeople, and be like, I want to help in any way possible, to ease everybody, and, like, if there's anything that I can do, that's, like, my mission. So if she got an answer, great, but if not, like, at least they know that she's coming.
Yeah, good. You get an advantage, but you also... How about you roll in knowledge and see if they gave you anything, or learning?
Learning, okay.
Or maybe empathy, actually, or like something that, like, if you were very kind in your email, sorry, not your email, but your snail mail, perhaps they would have shared with you if they felt like, oh, this is a person we can trust.
Okay, empathy. One success.
So the local priest answers, and he says to you that they've had he's worried that there's been some weird demonic rituals going on in the town. He has heard rumors of witches. But he's he's being vague, and because he doesn't want to stir any panic, and he also doesn't want to shit talk his own town and country. So he is. But you can deduce that from the letter that there seemed to be a fear of demons and witches in this town.
Okay.
On that note, I should like my advantage to be around researching during my luncheons at Rose House. I would like to research local Faroe Islands folklore in the library that we have at Rose House.
Absolutely. It's very similar to Scandinavian folklore, and mixed with northern England and northern Scotland folklore. So yeah, but I will give you an advantage on a roll if we get to that.
Sounds good.
That. All right. As you get closer to the port, it's still very nice out, so you're greeted by the locals. There's a police officer standing there that Rutger walks up to immediately, and he seems to be the person in charge. There's a woman standing a little further back, and then there's a bunch of other people who's taking your belongings from the boat, because there's other people leaving the ship. He introduces himself as Sergeant Pearson. Hello? Hello there. You must be the people from London.
Yes,
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, Mary, after you. You can talk first.
Oh, thank you, darling. Yes, I am Mary Smythe. You may recognize my work in the theatre, although I'm not sure I've ever been invited to perform in these climes before.
Of course, and there's some whispers behind him from maids and helpers, because they don't know at all who you are, but they know that you're a famous actor. So they are just excited that they have someone very important in their small little town. He's like, of course, anything I can do, my lady. Would you like a glass of he tries to find like champagne, and he's like, mead,
a spot of tea, a classic English delicacy, made perfectly with a 3-minute timer, you see. That would be just excellent.
Certainly.
And it is in my rider, so...
Oh, of course. The rider, where's the bloody rider? You know, and he loses, like, his revolver as he's trying to find
oh my god,
everything. He's like, oh god, rider. And then Rutger steps in and says, I'm sure the lady will be fine waiting until you've gathered yourself.
Yes, you see, I'm sure it's very clear that men often lose control of their... I'm cracking myself up, sorry. Yes, as you can see, men often lose control of their tools when in my presence, even today. Vanessa.
And everyone starts to blush.
Vanessa just, like, slowly bends down and picks up the revolver and hands it back to him butt first, and just says, my name is Sister Vanessa Angel. It is a pleasure to meet you.
We are honored to have you here, sister. I should like to introduce you to our Father Esther. He's currently in session, I believe, but if you would like for me to introduce you later, I will be happy to arrange that.
Absolutely. I have sent telegram to Father Esther. I would be honored to meet with him.
Everyone's very excited that you're here, but you're eventually also seeing other townspeople that they all seem kind of tired and as if they haven't slept in a couple of days. But the excitement from these new interesting people arriving overshadows that.
Is there any way that we might be able to talk to some of these people as we move from one place to the next, like just to get a vibe check on the common rabble, as it were?
Absolutely. You notice also that there's a woman standing a little further back, and eventually you find out that this is the innkeeper, where the assistant's name was Mary Van Myken, where she was staying.
Might I approach her?
Absolutely.
Are you, I see you're wearing the livery of an innkeeper. Hello. It is absolutely enchanting to meet you. I am Mary Smythe of the Royal Shakespeare Theatre. Sorry.
Uh-huh. My name's O'Rourke.
O'Rourke? Oh,
Yes.
are you from the Faroe Isles, or do you hail from the former British Empire?
Something like that. And who are you? And she looks at Sister Ankel.
Sister Vanessa Angel, I am here on a faith mission. I understand that you keep an inn. I would like a room along with Mary.
That could be arranged, of course. And she takes you to her inn if you are ready to do so. Rutger, he goes away off with the police officer, busy talking about other things that seems to not apply really to you because they get wrapped up in something completely different about fishing. Every time
British plus.
Every time Mrs. Smythe looks at him, he waves, but then loses his revolver again.
It's nice to be appreciated.
I gathered you drink tea. I shall have something served for you. Do you need a lady's maid? I might have a girl for you.
Truly.
And
how kind.
And we introduce our first NPC, Vlada, and this girl walks over with this biggest no bullshit attitude you've ever seen. Feisty, and also Eastern European, Sydney, which I decided before I knew that you were gonna be Eastern European, so they might have a little thing as well. But she's not from. You're from Transylvania, I think.
Yeah, from Romania.
Romania, and whereas I wrote her to be from Estonia because I based it off of my friend who's from Estonia.
Nice.
So yeah, and so this tiny little woman walks up to you, but she's as broad as she is short, and it's just like full muscles, and just comes over and is like,
And have you much experience with hair and buttoning up dresses from the back and makeup and the like?
Mary, I think she knows how to button a dress from the back. I don't think you're going to have a problem.
She just stares at you, and then you realize she has no idea what you're saying. But she immediately takes your bags, and then
I feel like she takes the bag and the hat.
Exactly.
And you just hear a little explosion of, oh, my hat. Oh, well.
Yeah. No, she immediately takes everything, but you notice also like the way she does it is extremely competent. So you notice you might have been surprised by the way her robust figure might suggest differently, but her hands are. It's actually as if you feel immediately at ease around her.
Yeah.
But she doesn't say a word. She just looks at you, and perhaps even without asking, corrects one of your hairpins or something to make sure that it looks good.
Ooh, well, I stand corrected. It's just so hard to find good help these days. I'm glad even here in the Faroe Isles, civilization is so full of life. I feel I've really stepped in it. Now,
I am going to go up to the room with Vlada, and I pick up my own bag.
Yeah. Vlada shows you to the room that is meticulously cleaned.
Is this where Mr. Rutger's previous assistant was staying? Miss Mary.
Miss Mary, and she recognizes that Mary, and she points to a room down the corridor.
And I think Vanessa... I think I'm doing the same thing. I think Vanessa, points and is like, can we go? And she, goes to show that she's, writing in a notebook. Like, can we go see and take notes?
Vlada realizes this is not her jurisdiction, so she can't say yes. But she gives you 1 moment look, and then she comes back with O'Rourke. What? You needed something?
I was hoping I had asked Vlada if we would be able to be let into Mary's room that she was staying in.
O'Rourke rolls her eyes. About the girl who's missing. That's why you're here? I was wondering what the big deal was.
You see, she has been missing for 3 weeks, and while Professor Rutger has his business to see to, we were sort of hoping to look in on dear Mary.
I can open the room for you. How much would that information be worth to you?
Well, I certainly wouldn't want it going about that people were going missing after staying here in your inn. Wouldn't it be so much nicer if instead someone with the influence and societal savvy were to give you an excellent review? Like me.
And
can I roll a manipulation
absolutely.
check? Okay.
Vanessa fully raises one dark eyebrow in the direction of Mary and is like, oh, maybe she's useful. This is good.
Maybe this isn't the worst character Anne has ever.
I love her. I love her.
I
love her so much.
2 successes altogether.
I don't care about reviews about this. And she looks around her with disdain. I don't care about reviews. However, there might be a favor I could use from you at a later time. Let's look at it this way. I do you a favor now. Perhaps you do me a favor later.
I think that is an excellent plan. It's so good to meet a woman of good intent, she says, sort of pointedly, and offers a hand.
And O'Rourke opens the door to Mary Van Myken's room.
Can Vanessa do... Is O'Rourke watching us go into the room now, or did she, kind of leave us up to our own business?
She leaves you.
Okay. Can Vanessa do a full, hard investigation check, looking at the room, but then also, if she finds a diary, finding personal items that might be useful?
Absolutely. The first thing you notice is that there seems like someone left in a hurry, but not necessarily a sign of battle or anything like that. Roll a vigilance.
Not investigation?
Actually, yeah, roll investigation. And since you specifically said what you were looking for, how about you give yourself +1?
Oh.
Okay. 1 success. 2 successes.
So on the desk, you see all these papers, and you see more of these eyes with the spirals inside of them. And then you see other sketches of the stone circle that's a little further north of town. But as you start opening perhaps drawers, you eventually find what you would say is a diary.
I turn around and show it to Mary, and I say, though it may feel wrong to read someone's personal thoughts, I do think that this might be holding information to let us know what was going on in Mary's mind during that time.
And in response to your very reverent and careful handling of this, she goes, "Oh, I don't mind, dear." And she just flips it open to the first page.
Well, you notice, though, it's a thick diary, and I have some rules on how we can mechanically deal with this diary, but it would take you roughly 2 days to read the entire thing and looking for clues. And so we'll, basically... If you guys want to do that, spend some time later to go through it and read
Definitely.
and get clues and all that stuff, we'll do rolls for that. However, at first you can see that there are more of these eyes, but they're now starting to look more obsessive. It's every single page in this diary has these eyes on them. And then how about you roll another investigation? Actually, yeah, so Mary, roll an investigation.
All right, I shall. All right, that's logic of 4 plus investigation of 1. Yeah. All right, that's 1 success.
You can tell that this is written by more than one person based on the font, I want to say, but based on the way that it's written. And it seems like you get a sense that these are some sort of instructions for something.
Does it seem like a ritual?
Yes. But then it's hard for you to read because so many of the pages have these eyes on top of it as well, and then eventually you see quotes from someone recently that says, "She's beautiful, she's beautiful. She's beautiful."
I believe we are to find out who she is. And she says it like it's the end of a scene, but it's very much just the middle of a day.
Actually, let's fucking end it there.
It is the end of the
perfect.
episode.
Yeah, that's the end of the episode.
Oh, that's so
Nailed
funny.
it.
Wow, she really